let's talk about branding and how you can set up your identity online so people can actually find you. The number of people that do this well is very, very low. So I've just got some tips and a short tutorial so you can get yourself established. People can find you for whatever reason they may want to find you. Getting a job, making connections, alpha, whatever it is. Let's have a quick look at my profile on Twitter. Now my profile is pretty decent. Seb Montgomery, that's my name. Seb Monty is what I'm commonly referred to. This is my main profile picture. I'm the general manager of Validator.com. Validator.com is safe and trusted staking on Solana, and literally the domain name is Validator.com and the branding is Validator.com. There's a few other things down here as well. One thing is sebmonty.link. So let's click on this domain. This is my domain name, sebmonty.link. There's a lot of things I'm going to cover in this. I could add a few things here. I could make it a little bit prettier. However, anybody can find me on this. It links to my YouTube, my Twitter, my Substack, email, Telegram, as well as random different referral links to things that I personally use and like. On top of that, you can actually see down the bottom, email me, support@sebmonty.link. Twitter, Seb Montgomery. YouTube, Seb Montgomery. Telegram, Seb Montgomery. It's all consistent. The only thing that really changes with me is sometimes I use a profile picture, like this one, and other times I use my DJNape PFP. So let's go have a look randomly at something else that has pretty decent branding, but maybe there's areas to improve. Let's go with Bonk. Now this is Bonk's official Twitter, and they have a Linktree. So let's click on this. Now Linktree is pretty cool. This is essentially a domain name, linktr.ee. Now .ee is actually the top level domain that belongs to Estonia. So Linktree is very famous, it's well used. However, there is a potential issue that in the future, maybe Estonia as a government doesn't like crypto. Maybe they don't like free speech. Maybe they don't like this or that or this. And anybody that uses a Linktree account with things that maybe break their rules will just be closed down. And then no one will be able to find you because you do not own your data. You are using their service and you're paying to use their service. Now I personally like Linktree. However, my personal preference is that someone is routed to Linktree from a domain name that they 100% own. And then at this point, you've got different links that go off in different directions, a website that has all the information where you can buy Bonk, the official website, maybe grab some merch, Bonk rewards, Bonk Dragon, etc. Let me show you another example of this done well. So this is a Degenerate Ape Academy, degenape.academy, that's the website, great. There's a link to Magic Eden, and then there's degenerate.link. If you click on this link, they own the domain name. This then forwards to Linktree. And then as standard, they've got all the different links here to do whatever you want to do. Join Discord, go to YouTube, etc. So thus far, my suggestion is go and grab a domain name that you own, something that's linked to your identity, your name, your PFP name, your anonymous name, whatever it may be. If your name is Topo on the internet, then your domain name would be Topo. And then if you want people to actually be able to find you, you go and link stuff there. If you're a developer looking for work, you would link your GitHub there. If you're an artist, you have your portfolio there. If you want a job, you have your resume there with some things, of course, blurred out like phone number, etc. And of course, your name should match ideally everywhere. Discord, Telegram, Twitter, YouTube, Reddit. Everything should be the same. And if you're anonymous, that's fine. Just try and get the same name everywhere. Same with your profile picture. You want to be recognized by your profile picture and by your name. You don't want it to change all the time. When you go to Twitter, you want to search for a name that people can spell. And ideally, it would be in English characters because that's what people are pretty much familiar with. Also, whenever possible, avoid things like underscores. Now, Validator.com has an underscore because we have to have an underscore. Twitter's great, but then it's also a little bit useless sometimes. If you're adding numbers or 0x or something that's a little bit more difficult to actually search for to your username, you will have difficulty with your branding. But if you're already set on that, that's fine. People will be able to recognize you as long as you're putting out good content or adding value to the space or doing whatever you want to do. So let's assume we've understood all this and let's move on to the next part, actually creating your website. So one of my friends, Matty, has a Twitter account and she's a creative beast. So she does all of my paintings. For example, this is my DJNape and I'll grab it off the wall shortly and I'll show you it a little bit closer. But this is how her branding is now. She's got a website, Mattythepainter.link. Why .link and why not .com? Well, .com you can still definitely use. But the thing is, there's millions and millions and millions of registered .com domain names. So actually finding the domain name that you're after is probably going to be difficult. Plus it's very old, and I do see a huge amount of value in something that's literally just link. Everyone knows what link is. A link is a URL that takes you to a website. A link is something that allows you to connect to Telegram, to connect a wallet, to send an email. All of these things are links, and basically everybody understands it. It really doesn't matter what language you speak. So it's universal. However, if you like something else like .xyz, then you can go with .xyz if you like. In crypto, there's a big tendency to go with .io. I'm not a big fan of that. I think it's a little bit too niche, but that's maybe a viewpoint from another video. So when you buy your domain name, set up a very basic kind of link tree. It doesn't even have to be a link tree. You don't have to pay anything for the link tree. You're literally just using a website builder, and you've got your Twitter and your portfolio. This took 10 minutes, a couple of hours, and this would look fantastic. But this is a minimal viable product right now just to get people to be able to find you. If we click on portfolio, it goes to the portfolio. Twitter goes to Twitter. The portfolio for an artist quite often is like Cravado, and there's different pieces of art here. This is not your typical NFT stuff, but she is very good at NFT stuff. I don't know what these are, but I like them. I can't show you feeders because there is some nudity, but the link will be below. And then we've got animals here. Now the brilliant thing is she owns this domain name. She pays for the hosting. She could spend years and years building up this brand. And if Instagram decided to take away her Instagram, which commonly happens, or if Twitter decides to just suspend or ban you, which also commonly happens, and there's nothing that anyone can do. Whereas when you actually own your domain name and people can find it, you can then just link to a new Instagram. It will still hurt, but at least you can rebuild from it. So where do you go and buy a domain name? You can go to GoDaddy, Namecheap, but I like Hostinger.com. It's affordable, it's easy, and it's got a really good Ask AI bot down here. All up, this will cost you peanuts. You could go with this one here, premium, $3 a month, huge amount of storage, websites, a free domain name as well, and free email. Or if you want a little bit more, you could go with this one here. However, if like me, use Google Meets all the time, you may want to also use the Google Business Starter edition for like Google Meets, cloud storage, and stuff like that. You can add it on when you're actually buying your plan, and it's pretty cheap, to be honest. Or if you're really concerned about privacy, you can use Proton. That costs you around 10 euros a month. So let's give this a go. We'll go with this one, premium. We can choose whatever we want. I'm going to go with this amount here, still peanuts. Create the account, put in all the details, $176. And that's for 4 years. Of course, you need to grab your domain name. So when you get to your domain name stage, go and work out what is your brand. Let's have a look at someone that's fairly famous in the space, gumshoe.link, and this domain is available. So you'd add to the cart and you're good to go. You're going to get a whole lot of suggestions from things that have basically no relevance. FYI, website, ICU, top. My suggestions here are just to be able to be found. That is your first goal. Don't do anything like this. Don't add hyphens. As soon as I see a hyphen, my scam radar just goes off and I think it's a scam. So skip things like this and then grab your domain. Now, by the way, Hostinger has referrals. I've only just noticed, so I'll put my link below. You can use it if you want to. When you're going to create your website, you can just go into edit website. This is all done via a drag and drop editor. So you don't need to know how to code or do anything. You can just grab a button like this and you can duplicate it and you can move it down and you can ensure the spacing is good. And then we can change this to say maybe your project, contract address, and then you change everything behind here. And if you end up expanding and expanding, you own the domain name. It's your domain name. You can then build out a decent website with a decent website company, but all of that energy that you put into your brand, it all funnels straight back to you. And then all you need to do is just go and update the website like this. The website changes are published, you view the site, and we can see it just like that. Now, I hope you get the idea here. So firstly, if you don't do this, your brand is hurting. People need to be able to find you. They also need to be able to spell your name. And also the amount of time it takes to set this up is tiny. You could go from start to finish with minimal knowledge in less than an hour. Next thing I want to talk about is perfection. Everyone wants to be perfect, more or less. However, you don't start off as being perfect. Pretty much everyone in crypto uses Twitter, but this is how Twitter started. With this, and then this, and then this, and then this, and then this. And even their bird had iterations. This bird, this, and then this. And now, as you know, it's just an X. So start with something, and as long as your name or your anonymous name and your brand lines up across the board, you can always introduce a new logo or something like that in the future. But get yourself set up first with a domain name, and my preference is .link. Finally, a shout out for my friend and a bit of an experiment. If you want to go and commission a piece of art like your NFT, converting that into art on the wall, go and shoot her a DM on Twitter. She's a Web2 user, but she'll accept USDC. And I'll quickly show you what the art looks like. So this is my Degen ape here. This is sodium chloride. It was originally created for a charity piece, and I think it was auctioned for about $55,000. Not to me, I got it more recently. But I absolutely love it, and I'm very happy for people to see it when they come over. It's relatively small though, so I'll show you a bigger piece. So this next piece is pretty massive, about 1.5 meters long. for some people, you will not want to spend any money on something like this. Personally, I love it. A lot of us have spent thousands and thousands of dollars on actual digital art, and it's really nice to have it painted and put on the wall. Then after it's painted, the canvas is just shipped to you in a roll, and then you just go and see a frame maker, and you just get it put onto a frame, or you frame it your own style. So anyway, that's who does my art. Hit her up if you're keen. But anyway, go and start on your brand. I've given you all the tips, and I just have one last tip. If you're trying to attract people, if you're trying to get work, please make sure that your name can be remembered, either the DApp name or your actual name. Right now, the majority of crypto users are like English speaking. So if you have a really unusual name that's maybe only popular in your own country, then starting a brand with that probably won't work as well, because most people won't even remember how to actually spell it. So just keep that in mind. At the end of the day, a brand allows you or your product to actually be found. That's all for this video. If you liked it, give it a like. And if you loved it, subscribe. Catch you in the next video.